So there are 5 things that you can do to keep your viewer enticed. Now, the first one is currently down here. If you look down here, right across my face. Subtitles. Now the second one, no. Okay, I got you. Right, so that was the second transition. Now the third one is quite simple and easy. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, right, so let's edit. Okay, so first of all, the first one you can see that my right hand here is sticking forward, and I just use that to knock the camera over. So the first thing we need to do is obviously cut where I want to start and where I want to finish this footage. So I need to cut it in the middle somewhere where it's moving. So on the ceiling is probably the best bit. So roughly there where it's really blurred, because then it kind of hides the transition, that hides the cut. And I want to go to where I start talking on the second bit. So here, obviously I catch there. So I need to get the ceiling again. Annoyingly with this, you can see Mark for the next transition. That's fine for this one. And you can use this just, if you want to transition, say you're starting off sat down, say you're going on holiday and everything, and then you want to just surprise the audience just by accidentally knocking your camera over, you can then transition to you in the airport or something. And it's just something that will keep them intrigued, keep you guys intrigued. And so that's the point of this one, just something that transitions like this. And it's just a nice little smooth animation. I'm suddenly standing up. So how I did this one, you can see in the background here with the second footage. So I do the catch, and then I'm vlogging, and Mark, my boss there, is ready to hold the camera, so he takes it out of my hand. And that's how you get this sort of look. I actually got this from Peter McKinnon, and there's no point in linking it, but I'll show the footage. So it looks like I'm vlogging like this, so I'm vlogging it normally, and then he takes the camera. You can do it smoother than that, but we're in a rush. You can see there when I'm transitioning it across. If you do it nicely and cleanly, like in Peter McKinnon's one, it's almost like magic. So that's another way that you can kind of surprise the audience. If you're doing a vlog style, you have someone else there with you, they can take the camera and you show the rest of the place, and they're not expecting it. And it's just something that is, it could be quite cool to use. And then the transition that I just did. So this is quite obvious, it's black. And so I need to transition from when I'm doing this. Okay. So then the final thing, which is technically the first thing, are the subtitles. Subtitles are really easy to do. If you have the audience selected, you can go up to window if it's not already showing, come down here to text, and then this will show up. You can go over to transcript, transcribe sequence, and then these settings are perfectly fine. Obviously, if you're not English, then don't have English selected, but I'm English. Click transcribe, and it does it for you. You can see all the words for the whole sequence here. I don't care about all of them, but you can go through and correct any words that are wrong, because it's not 100% accurate all the time if you're talking quickly or your words are kind of mumbled, so you might want to go through and correct them. So when you've done your transcribing, you've checked all the words, you go up here to these 3 dots, create captions, and just keep that as default. And then on the preferences, you don't want too many words on the screen at a time, so I usually take this down to about 10 or 12 on single lines, not double, so it keeps it on one line at the bottom rather than doing top and bottom. I do have my own style saved, but I'm not going to use that because I'm going to show you how to do that. You click create captions and it will show up here. So now, as you can see, teeny tiny right there, they're down there. You can actually highlight all of these, go over to the essential graphics and edit, and all this will come up here. So here you can change all of the colors, you can change the text font and everything. Download, I would recommend downloading CC Sign Language, and I'm going to move that, no, I'm gonna leave that where it is, but I will make these a bit bigger, so 200 is fine. Have that in the central, because you don't want it off to the left or right of the screen, so have that central. Actually, I'm going to change this to bold, so they're big and bold, big and beautiful and bold. And then you can change the style to however you want. So a lot of the times when people do this sort of stuff, they have a black font and they make the font rather large, so maybe 50 is a bit too big, 35? 35 is fine. And you can have the text color however you want. I might keep it white, or I might change it to yellow, or I might change it to blue. I'll do yellow. Yellow pops quite a bit. And you can mess around with these to whatever look you prefer. Whilst this is all highlighted as well, select this button and it makes it all capitals. I'm also going to go through and change it. So you might see here, because it's 10 characters, there are 2 words on one. But if you have one word, for some reason, it's just a little bit better. And so what I'm going to do here is find where I say there and where I say are and cut it, and then you can edit those separately. I'll show you now. So that's where I say, actually I say so there. So I'll start off with so. and then I say there, and I say there. And as you can see what I just did there, every time I make a cut, if you look at the top left, it then splits it into two. So it was 1 5, and then I make a cut, and then there's 2 5s. And you can edit those individually. So now the last thing you can do with subtitles is highlight them all, go up to graphic and titles, and then upgrade caption to graphic. And then that will mean that you can actually zoom these in and out. But what I'm going to do is highlight them all again, right click, replace with After Effects. Now when you're in After Effects, you can see each subtitle here. I'm going to Control A to highlight them all, right click, pre-compose is whatever. Click P and hold Alt and then click on the watch icon, and that opens up this sexy looking thing. If you type wiggle, brackets, and then whatever number you want, but I always use 0.550. Can't remember, I think 0.5, I think that's the speed, and then that's how much it moves. So as an example, if I was to change this to fucking 5 and 500, and then skim through it, you can see it goes all over the gaff. Whereas at 0.550, it's just got a light little wiggle. So now, I save this one, go over to Premiere Pro, and it will automatically be on here. Forgot to mention as well, if you want to save this as a style, you double click on the text so you have it highlighted, and you click on track style, you select create style, save it as whatever you want, and then it means that when you then go to create your captions, you can then select that style and it will automatically import with the style you selected. You still have to change these, but the style itself, so the colors and everything and the caps lock and the size will all be saved. But now moving on to the fifth one. There is no fifth one, goodbye.